Hey, what's up, guys? So I thought I would make another video about my wheel settings for the Logitech G Pro wheel. I have made just some slight tweaks since the last video a couple of months ago, and I've been using them for, I'll say, probably 6 to 8 weeks. I made the changes probably a few weeks after the previous video, and they feel really good, very subtle, so settings are almost the same as before. All right, so I'll go through these settings and then I'll also make a video with my phone showing me go through my wheelbase settings. There's some two slight tweaks on the wheelbase settings as well. But here, so steering, I have no dead zone on the steering. Something I've changed, and I've just made this change within the last week, and I seem to like it, is I like dead zones on my gas and brake because I rest my feet on the pedal. So my right foot on gas, left foot on brake. I like a little dead zone in case when you're resting, you could be putting slight pressure. But I had this before at 5 and 95, and I changed it to 2 and 98. And I feel like my throttle control, everything's, gives you a little more range. And the Bathurst, I could tell the difference. So that, like going up the hill, for doing this along with some tweaks to the tune, just felt better. So that's what I've been going with for about the past week. 2 and 98. And then on the clutch, I think that was 5 and 95 also, but I've changed that to 0 and 100. So I'm using the RS track wheel now, whereas I was using for the longest time, the default wheel that comes with the Logitech G Pro wheelbase. And the default wheel has dual clutch paddles, so I use the clutch paddles to launch with cars because I normally run manual with clutch. As long as the car has a race transmission. If it has a race transmission, then you can shift the gears without using the clutch, but you'll need the dual clutch paddles or to use the clutch to launch some of the cars. But I changed this, and you'll see my clutch bite setting, even though I don't have dual clutch paddles. And just know that if you're in the same spot as me, you got the RS track wheel, you can use your clutch pedal and push it in. So I think my clutch bite setting will be about 28, and you can push your clutch in around 30%, and then slow release it or whatever, similar how you would use the dual clutch paddles, and it'll do well. I'd still prefer the paddles myself, but the rest. So handbrake, I've never changed anything there, I don't think. And I can't remember exactly. I think it was road feel load sensitivity. I think that's where I made the biggest changes here. I did some slight tweaks. So force feedback 100, steering alignment 90, these mechanical trail, pneumatic trail, they're the same. Road feel, the reason I want to go down on it a little bit, if you get your road feel up too high, it will cause the steering wheel to move, and your car can get unsettled just because the force feedback so strong it moves your wheel. So I want to feel the curbs and everything, but I don't want it to be too much. And you can still feel everything really well with the settings I have. So I think really these two are the main places I tweaked. I can't remember, but I think that's the main spot where I made tweaks here. And I'll put everything in the description so that if you, like me, something happens and your settings get reset, you can just go to the description and get them real quick. You don't have to watch the whole video all over again. TruForce settings, I haven't changed anything here. I really like the TruForce settings on the wheelbase. You'll see that I did change the TruForce audio, TF audio. I'll show that setting, but before it was maybe 10, 5, something like that. I bumped that up to either 20 or 30. But if you watch my races, occasionally when I get on a curb, you'll hear like a rattle or something, and that's that TruForce audio will cause the wheelbase to make a little bit of noise sometimes when you're on a rumble strip or something. And it'll actually, since I bumped it up, the wheelbase will get fairly warm occasionally also, but I've been doing it for a couple months and no issues. So just be aware that it will add to it, but there'll be a little noise occasionally, and the wheelbase will get fairly warm sometimes. But yeah, I've been doing it for months now and no issues. So that's my wheel settings within the game. And here in just a second, I'll cut to another video I make, and show you my wheelbase settings. And I've went through several iterations, and so I had different settings before TruForce audio was added, or TruForce feedback was added. And then after TruForce, this is my second version with TruForce, I think. So taken a while for me to get here, but I feel really good about these settings, and I don't see myself tweaking anything in the future. So this is kind of my final version for Forza Motorsport. And I hope this helps. And I'll catch you guys in the next one.